People always ask me, what would you tell the girlies that are in their 20s? But first, I'm going to let Auntie explain, and then I'm going to give you my opinion.
I need everybody in their 20s to the front right now. Women in front of men, hurry, hurry, hurry. Listen to this, okay? Number one, you're going to lose friends. It's going to be okay. Number two, you're going to go through a breakup. You're not going to die. It's going to feel like it. You're not going to die. Get an apartment if you want an apartment. Get a house if you want a house. But don't do it because you feel like you have to have it because somebody else had it by this age, 23, 25. You're not going to have life together like our parents did and the people before them because the prices are too high. If you want to go to college, go to college. If you don't. If you want to have sex with them, do it. If you don't. Y'all be stressing out. I don't know who told y'all had to have all the answers by 25, 26. You're in your 20s. If your parents still let you stay with them, stay with them. Stack your bread. Find out who you are, what you want to do. It's too stressful in your 20s right now. Y'all are really freaking out. Now, people in their 30s still don't know what they're doing, so enjoy yourself.
So girls are always asking me about this whole, what would you tell the girlies that are in their 20s? Focus on yourself. Don't be worried about what everybody else is doing. Don't rush life. Slow down. Learn. Explore. Grow. Love on yourself. Find yourself. Find your true identity. And yes, it's going to take your entire 20s. Why? Because a lot of the times when we first turn 20, our identity is shaped by our parents or our guardians. It's not who we truly are. So spend 10 years on yourself and find out who you are, what you like, what you don't like. But how can you find out these things? Exploring, being adventurous, having a adventurous time. Find out who you are. Find out what you like. Find out what you enjoy. Find who you are. The biggest sign that you have truly found yourself, this is when you know you have stumbled across who you are at the core, is when you hear people speak of you or speak about you, it aligns with how you see yourself. That's when you know you have found yourself. Number two, you know you are truly confident, because that's what your 20s is all about. Finding your confidence, finding your identity. When you find your identity, you will become naturally more confident because you know who you are. But you know you are truly confident when people can take photos of you from unflattering angles. People can talk about how they had a negative experience one time with you and you not get defensive. You can speak about your light and your shadow and you like, yep, that's me. That's me. And it may be good or bad, but it's you. And you love who you are. You know who you are. And because of that, when you turn 30, it's a totally different ball game. I feel like your 30s is truly your prime. Why? It's the mindset. It's the maturity level. It's the maturity level on so many levels. You know how to take accountability. You know who you are, which means you have self-awareness. A lot of these men want these girls young, but a 30-year-old woman, very mature. She knows how to communicate. She can express her needs, her wants. But if you don't go through that rough patch where you're trying to figure things out for yourself in your 20s, you're going to have to play catch up in your 30s. And I don't recommend that. So it's okay to not have all the answers right now in your 20s. It's okay to not be able to verbally express what you want in your 20s. It's okay to be in this limbo phase because you are finding yourself. This is part of the process. And it's just like when you worked your first job and it was a horrible job, but nobody else would hire you because you didn't have no experience. And so you had to work that job. I worked at Wendy's. And then there's another step to this because this is the process. This is what it means to truly transition into being an adult and finding who you are. When you first got credit, you had bad credit because you didn't have no credit. That's how the system works. And so because of that, you had to get a credit card with a high interest rate so that you could actually get some type of credit, so you could get to good credit. It's always a process. It's always a transition, and everyone has to go through it. Okay. So don't feel like, oh, I'm left out. No, this is everybody. And then some advice: don't mess up your credit in your 20s trying to stunt. You don't need all these things that you see people out here buying. You will have it later in life. And actually, you would prefer to have it later in life. You will. Because you can actually afford the quality. So don't feel like you got to go out here and buy this and buy that. And you are chasing materialism because you feel like it brings you some type of status. When you're in your 20s, you shouldn't really care about status. You should care about putting in that groundwork and laying that foundation and finding yourself. In your 30s, you can focus more on the status stuff. You know, you can focus more on buying you more quality clothing, bags and shoes and pieces and stuff like that that really symbolizes who you are. But in your 20s, you're just going to stress yourself out. And you're going to give yourself bad credit. And then when you turn 30, you're going to have to play catch up because now you got to pay all that debt back. So I'm going to tell you, when it comes to your 20s, slow down. Drink more water. You don't have to go out all the time because I'm telling you, that fast life, it ages you quick. And trust me, now that I've turned 30, oh, I see it. I see it in some of the girls that I grew up with. I see it with some of the people that are my age. And I'm just like, wow, you look so much older than me. And it's because their 20s were rough. So slow down, drink more water. You don't got to go out all the time. And to the girls that get made fun of, because I was made fun of, I didn't want to go out all the time. I didn't want to be out all the time. I am actually able to go out now and enjoy myself and have the funds to do it and be in my prime while doing it. And it's just way more enjoyable. And the reason is because in my 20s, I was way more insecure. And another reason in my 20s, I didn't have money like that. And then another reason in my 20s is like, men are not really taking you serious. They not. So you really do waste your time going out and stressing yourself about men and clubs and all of that, because at the end of the day, none of the men are looking to take you serious. They just not. They not in a financial position to be able to take you serious. So you really are stressing yourself out over nothing. So it's okay to stay home and drink water, lay off the alcohol for one weekend, and truly focus on yourself and find yourself. And this is the most beautiful part of your journey, and you will never get it back. And that's why you need to enjoy it and stop feeling like you missing out, and stop feeling like you need to be this or you need to be that or you should be here. You're exactly where you need to be. And one more thing, now that I have turned 30, I see so many women playing catch up. They messed up their credit. They got into a marriage or a relationship that drained them. They never took time out of their lives to focus on themselves. And so now they have to play catch up in their 30s. They don't know how to communicate. They're not in tune with their emotions. And when I say they're not in tune with their emotions, they're not in tune with their emotions in a healthy way. So they're codependent. They have attachment issues. They suffer from abandonment issues. They're super insecure and they sabotage connections, whether it's romantic relationships or platonic relationships. They're a hot damn mess. So when I tell you this, I'm telling you this because when you do what you're supposed to do, when you lay that solid foundation, it may seem like your friends are winning. The ones that are not taking the time out for themselves and focusing on themselves. But I'm telling you, you'll start to see, and I'm seeing it now, a lot of these girls are playing catch up. And it was because they refused to just slow down and not rush this adulthood. This being a woman, I'm grown. I'm not shading nobody. I'm being real. And if you got a problem with it, well, this is just another day. This is just another episode on Real Talk with Yoni. Slow down, be at ease, learn, explore, be adventurous, and enjoy this time in your life. To the girls that are in their 30s and you're playing catch up, listen, sis, you reap what you sow. So you're going to have to be a grown woman about it, take some accountability, and clean it on up. We all make mistakes. All of us, including myself. Because there's some things in my 20s I wish I would have done differently. So clean it up and take full accountability for it. Sit with yourself in silence. Clean up your social circle. Elevate, because you have the power to change your life, and it's really dependent on you choosing to do so. So if you take issue with this, it's probably because you don't want to change. But understand, we all have the power to change. We all have the power to do that. So you guys enjoy the rest of your day. And like I said, if you are in your 20s, girl, you gonna be all right. I promise you. You gotta sit with yourself. And sometimes, when it comes to becoming a woman, you gotta learn how to sit with yourself in silence and be okay with that. Okay? So you're not out here hanging around people you don't need to be around. You ain't out here entertaining men that are just draining you. Learn how to sit with yourself in silence. You cold. You don't understand how cold you are when you have the ability to sit with yourself in silence. Girl, nobody can play with you.